Etsy News, your one-stop shop for all things Etsy related. And what have we got in store today? There's been another Etsy scam going around. Did April the 1st bring joy or bugs on Etsy? I'm so over this and more. Let's dig right into it. Firstly, there's a new Etsy scam going around. I've made a copy of it here, but also I just wanted to point out how you can tell some of these things are scams. Now, I know this is difficult because a lot of these scammers will target brand new to Etsy sellers because they know that they don't know what's going on. They haven't got experience. We should always know if a message comes from Etsy, it'll be in the For Etsy section of your messages. And also, if there's something important, there'll be a banner on your dashboard. So don't click links in messages on Etsy or emails. That could be a scam. But there's some very obvious red flags in these kind of messages. So, urgent compliance review required, immediate action needed to protect your Etsy store. So, what are some of the red flags? Let me know, I've missed plenty here. But first of all, dear merchant, Etsy knows your name, or at least it knows your shop name. It wouldn't be saying dear merchant. Another thing you'll see a lot, like I didn't underline here, action needed within 24 hours, but it's always don't wait, do this now. No, those kind of urgent things are generally a scam because they're attempting to get you to go, oh no, I have to deal with this right now. But here's another thing, do this to prevent suspension. And yes, loss of sales and security risks. If your shop's suspended, there's no security risk. If your shop's suspended, well, there is loss of sale, but here we go. If no action is taken, you risk store suspension leading to a substantial revenue impact. It's not a substantial revenue impact. You can't sell. You don't make money. Etsy will hold what you've got in your account for, 90 days? I can't remember. And they'll make it really difficult for you to fulfill any orders you already had. And reduced visibility in search engines, making it harder to attract customers. If your shop is suspended, you don't have reduced visibility. You have no visibility in search, in Etsy search, in Google search. Well, there might be if Google's taken a wee while to update, but your shop is suspended so people can't buy. So it's not making it harder to attract customers. Your shop's, to all effect and purposes, gone unless you can get it back. Reply help for support. Yeah, that's not how Etsy does it. Reply help for support. Reply help for our scam team to know that they've got hold of an easy mark. Basically, Etsy doesn't do that. That's like an Instagram thing or something. That's not an Etsy message something. But as I said, the act now, don't wait, do this thing right now. We're here to support you. The rush. Don't think. Don't check if this is okay. Just panic and do what we tell you and we'll help you. Yeah, I think the risk of security risks is, well, replying help won't be a security risk. This just puts them down. Like, they spam this to many people. The people that reply help go onto the list of easy marks, and then they'll start doing the things to become security risks anyway. And then sincerely Etsy support team. Etsy might sign out some mails like this, but it's usually something like yours sincerely, or yes, sincerely. They're not sincere anyway. But here's a scam, and let me know if there's any other bits in that you spot, and let me know if you spotted any new scams. I got asked last week, is it something new? When adding photos, I can edit it, like brightness, temperature, contrast. Didn't see this before, or is it something new? Yeah, you used to be able to do a bit of photo editing on your phone in the app, but now on the desktop as well. Thank you, Etsy. This is very nice. we get some little better photo editing. You can do the basics, brighten it up, saturate, change the temperature. So yeah, that's all pretty good. I mean, is it as good as a proper photo editor? No. Is it as good as probably what you're using on your phone? Possibly. I don't know what you're using on your phone. But is it good to have? Absolutely. You can tweak some images that you're not totally happy with. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Is this something new? It is indeed. So it's when you're in listings, you go into a listing to edit it, and then you go into the photos to edit it. You can still crop and everything, but we now have this little extra that lets you do some fairly handy photo editing. So April the 1st, we said that Etsy had promised on April the 1st that they would be expiring the listings that were supposed to be expired up to 2 years ago from their bug. Um, so I've seen all over the place plenty of people telling me, hey, it's April the 2nd and my affected listings are still active even when they say expired. And some other people saying, yes, it looks like today's the 6th, it looks like the 5th of April, some people's listings that should have been expired were expired. So bit of a pain. Check your listings, see what's happening there, because obviously if you want those listings to still be active. Now, if your listing has been active past its expired date for months and months and months, it's not been getting views and it's not been making sales, because if it had been making sales, it would have already been sold and relisted and you would have been okay. So if it's done this, I wouldn't just renew it. Check there's nothing wrong there. Do a little bit of a keyword check, maybe update the photos, see if it needs refreshing. But yeah, check if Etsy's expired any of your listings, see if you have to unexpire them. Tariffs, yeah, the big thing came in this week. Etsy are keeping on top of this in as best they can. The second, within hours of the tariffs being announced, the Etsy staff did jump in and update their article they've got in the forums, just saying we're looking into it. They have updated the seller handbook, but it basically just says this is fast moving and complicated. Seek legal advice. Great, thank you. But yes, that it's really difficult for them to deal with the nuances all around the world. But at the minute in time, the de minimis thing still exists. This means if your sale is less than a certain value, I think is it $750 or $800, can't remember offhand, but it's a very high value, and if your sales are up at that high price anyway, you probably shouldn't be selling on Etsy because of the purchase protection program and things. So you should be aware that it's a bit sort of dangerous to do that anyway. But yes, so there always were kind of some potentially customs fees for items that expensive anyway. Apart from China and Hong Kong, the de minimis has been removed. So I think I understand why this is to hit the Temus of the world, because they were managing to sell super cheap because they were able to ship without, ship your little package that's going to be under $800 because everything's so cheap. You would have to be buying a crate load of stuff to get over $800. So they were able to ship without the customs, without these fees. So the de minimis has been removed for China and Hong Kong. And it is a shame because I've bought from some amazing handmade shops in China. There are some wonderful artists all over the world. So I'm very sorry for these shops. But as Etsy say, at the minute in time, the majority of Etsy packages entering the US will not be impacted by the tariffs. So just be aware of that. You're probably okay. China and Hong Kong, the chances are what this will mean is customers in the US. At the minute, Etsy can't charge the tariffs in advance. So either your shipping company might have something set up for you, I would check with them, or your customer will get charged when the item comes through customs. Sadly, there's nothing we can do about this, but for the rest of us, it's probably okay just now. But we've got to keep an eye on it because things have been changing fast, and also what's going to be happening the other way for everybody else who buys from the US. Things are likely to change very shortly. I just saw this question in the forums and decided, yeah, this is a nice one to quickly answer because lots of people are seeing no views just now in their shop and are thinking, is my shop de-indexed? So de-indexed is a thing where you're dropped out of search. Your listings can't be found in search at all. And it does happen, usually accidentally. But how to tell if your shop is indexed? It's very easy to quickly do this. So go into your shop on Etsy, not your dashboard, not the back end, but Etsy.com. Go to your shop, and then you have this search bar in your shop, not the search bar at the top, but the search bar at the side that says search in Ben McFuzzylugs or whatever the name of your shop is. Type in a word that you know is in some of your titles or tags, and then see if Etsy finds anything. And if it does, in this case, for cat, it's found 33 items, so my shop is indexed. So you can check with that. There is, I haven't checked for a while, but if you sell adult type items, there is certain searches that your shop won't show up for. So you might want to check different search terms, a few different search terms if you're not showing up and you sell adult items. That is just simply because if someone is searching for a bracelet and they've just typed in like silver bracelet, they don't necessarily want an adult toy type silver bracelet. Trying to say things not to get banned on YouTube. So make sure and type in maybe your shop name or something a bit more specific. But yes, that's how you can check if you're indexed. Yeah, this comes up every so often. People freaking out because Josh Silverman's selling sales, or other big bugs on selling shares. Other big bugs on Etsy are selling their shares. Does this mean the rats are leaving the sinking ship? Josh, I covered this about 2 years ago. Josh Silverman and likely a lot of these other people get paid, I think some or all of their wages are in shares. So every month when they get paid, they sell those shares so they have an income coming in, basically. So this is nothing new. So don't freak out. This is just what they do. I know people freak out about it. Getting paid in shares is a kind of good thing because then they are incentivized to, well, it's a good thing from the shareholders' point of view. They're incentivized to make sure that Etsy's doing well because then they get paid more. So yeah, they've been struggling for the past few years compared to 2020 and 2021. Right. I've been looking at the top selling shops on Etsy that just started this year, and I thought it would be a fun thing. We're able to use eRank to look at the new shops coming in. I knew some would be a little bit scummy, but I'm kind of done with how fast sales a shop that shouldn't be selling the things they're selling gets. So this shop in the past month got pretty much 2,000 sales, and its top selling items is they're editable invites, Canva editable invites. That's great. First one's Bluey, second one's Winnie the Pooh. So they are IP infringing. Now, yes, it's not Etsy's job to police this. It is the copyright holder's job to police this. I've said this a million times. That's great. It's just disheartening that they can make so many sales selling things, breaking the law. Like, yeah, sorry. Ignorance of the law is ignorance of the law doesn't protect you from the law. So even if, and I can totally understand that people don't know they're breaking the law because so many other people do it. They see people doing it. And so many gurus tell them, if you're starting an Etsy shop, go and look at what the top seller is in this shop and then just copy it with a few tweaks. So people will go and they'll look and they'll go, in a month, this listing potentially had 700 sales. Therefore, Bluey birthday invitations must be popular, therefore I must make them. Or Winnie the Pooh had 150 sales, therefore. Now, Winnie the Pooh, sort of partly in the public domain, that's true, so they might be able to get away. They might be okay with some of that, but Bluey definitely isn't. But anyway, so you see this, you copy it, you think it's okay because you've been told this is how to research for good things to sell on Etsy. But yeah, you might be the 7th down in the list of people taking that bad advice and copying the next person and the next person. You're still a criminal. Sorry. So that's the way it is. You're still a criminal. And I am fed up that criminalness, breaking the rules, just absolutely is getting 2,000 sales in a month, whereas cool artists are lucky to get 1 or 2 sales in a month. Anyway, on that that cheery note, that's us for today. Thank you all for, as always, for letting me know what's going on. I like to be able to keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening in Etsy. So don't forget to check the comments and see what I missed this time round. Anyway, have an awesome week and I'll see you next time.